I click the... Hi, welcome to WiseCat. Apparently, now I'm live. Yeah, apologies for being somewhat a little bit late. I just learnt that I do not know what I'm doing when it comes to live streaming. Very, very sorry. Yeah, okay. I'm seeing myself with something like a 10 or 15 second delay. And... oh, now I'm hearing myself. That's... oh, that's going to be... that's going to be very irritating. I'm going to switch off my speakers. There we go. Speakers are off, but I believe that the live chat should be working. Let's try. I'll just try a quick hello out there. And I hope that's working. Okay. So, sorry to keep you guys waiting. I really actually... could someone please maybe send a quick message in the live chat? Let me know it's working if you can see that. Otherwise, I'm going to assume everything's working now. And I'll just get to the topic of hand. What was that just popped up? Oh, add stream marker and things. Okay. So yes, thank you very much for coming to this very first ever live stream event. I've never actually done this before, so hence all of the problems. Okay, so let me open up now. Okay, I've replaced that with YouTube, so I'm going to do a new tab and I'm going to open up a Moodle site. So here we go. I have got my Moodle site there, and I'm going to shrink myself down into the corner so that now we can look at this. This is the Quackling Fire. It's one of the Moodles that I have, and it's actually running off of a Raspberry Pi. So there are a few special aspects of this particular Moodle, because this particular Moodle is running, being on a Raspberry Pi, it's also running using, say, PHP is only the 32-bit version and things like that. So it might not be exactly the same as a general Moodle. But anyway, this is the one that I would like to try uploading today and see if I actually can upload it. Now, I have not seen any messages in the Waves chat yet, in the live chat yet, so I really don't know if this is working on. Let me see. Oh, thank you, Jose. Jose has just told me that it works great. Actually, I don't know if he's talking about me or about just YouTube in general work state. So, okay, let's see. I don't know. Forging ahead, pretending that everything is working just fine, because as far as I can tell, it might be. According to this panel that I've got in front of me, it says I've got 8 people watching, which is definitely more than I expected. So if you're real people, thank you very much. Okay, so let's get back into the fray. So the first thing that I would definitely do is take a backup, usually, and we might actually go through that stage. At the moment, this is not fully up to date. If we go to the notifications in Site Administration, we can see that there's a new Moodle available. There's 4.0, but there's also 3.11.6. So first, I'm going to update within Branch 2 the latest version of Moodle before I actually move up as well. And for some reason my cron script is saying that cron hasn't been running. So I'm going to also investigate that, because if you're, here's a little pro tip as well, if you're using Moodle and your cron PHP script, if you get this on your notifications page, that's not really a good thing. It's not a good thing to have cron not running for 10 hours, especially because it should be running every single minute. So, okay, already we're off to a rocky start. Doesn't know what he's doing with live streaming, and his Moodle is... I'm starting with a Moodle that actually has got some issues. This is going to be fun. Okay, and people sometimes actually ask me if I have been asked before if I rehearse or if I do much editing or something. I do no editing. That's why I kind of like this idea of a live stream, is because I can't do editing. It's live, so hence you're getting the all sorts of problems thing happening. I don't pause or something. I have actually in the past paused the video, but anyway. Okay, let's get in there. What I need to do, just a second here, and let's see. Okay, I'm going to log into my Pi web server there. Let's put that over here for a second here. Okay, so the first thing that I want to do actually is check out my cron job to see what's happening with that. So I'm just going to go sudo -u, because I would have the cron jobs running as the web server user. So www.data, because this is a Debian based install, and cron tab -e. Let's have a look quick in there. And there we have a couple of these are actually in there. There's actually two, and I've got them trying to run 30 seconds apart. Okay, so this would be this one here. And that seems like, well, that should be quite there. So let's grab that command and see what happens. Why is that not running? Okay, so sudo -u www.data, and let's just try the command and see if it can actually run. Well, that seemed to work, and that's worked twice. So now if we redo the notifications, it's still saying it hasn't been run for 10 hours. Okay, so that's not where the code base is. The code base must be in some other directory. Okay, actually, it's interesting. This came up, this was a question on another one of my videos the other day, was sort of how would you find out where the www root is? And one of the quickest ways I know, if you don't want to actually just go searching for it in the file system, is you go across to your PHP ini page and go down the bottom here. And there is actually, one of the options here is document root. So it's /srv/moodle/www. Okay, so let's go back to our thing here. /serv/s/www. Yeah, that's correct. So, okay, so it seems that the notifications page is lying to me. Fancy that, because I just ran it. So there you go. That's not quite correct. So that could actually have been one of the bugs that might have been fixed up. So anyway, let's actually update this to the latest version. So to do that, we're going to change directory into our Moodle path, which is our document root that we just found. So that'll be srv/Moodle/www is where my Moodle code is. And if I look in there, I can see that that's where I've got a whole bunch of Moodle code. And actually, I might pull this over to this side here. Yeah, and make it a bit bigger. Okay, so in here now I can go git, well, actually, before I do git, I'm going to actually do this the proper way. Now, with the exception of taking a database backup and backing up the entire code, because this is a throwaway Moodle. But definitely, before you're doing any sort of upgrades, back everything up. If you back up, it doesn't break. I'm not going to back up, so it'll probably break, because things break when you don't have a backup. So, pretending that I have actually taken that backup of this throwaway Moodle, this disposable one, the next thing that I would definitely do is put it into maintenance mode. And I would use CLI maintenance mode for this. So this is where I'll go sudo -u www.data again, and I'll be hitting the PHP up, and admin / and CLI/maintenance mode, which is maintenance.php -- enable. And so what this does is it prevents me from actually doing anything on the page at all. Even as an admin, I can't do anything through the website. So back to the command line, because now that's all we've got. And so in here, I'll hit up a Git Pull, and this is not going to, okay, that's actually just going to use the merge the default strategy, which is fine. But this is not going to update me to Moodle 4.0 or anything. It will bring in the new branches and make sure that the code is there ready to go. But I actually have to switch branches to the 400 branch here in order to have my Moodle fully updated. And so we'll probably do this as a little bit of a second step process. I'll unlock it beforehand, before I actually go up to 4.0 again. So that's the Git Pull is done, but that's only half of the update, because the database also needs to be upgraded. And we have there is a online script for this as well. A CLI script for this as well, upgrade.php, and you run it in the same way as your online scripts that are just in the admin/CLI folder. There's a whole bunch of them there, and later on, I guess I'll put a link into the description about the Moodle documentation for administration via CLI. There's a really good documentation page, describes a whole bunch of different functions you can do via the CLI. But doing the upgrade PHP via CLI is really useful, because one of the things that it does is it doesn't time out. Sometimes if you actually try to do an upgrade via the web interface, you can actually have the problem of it timing out, and you've got half of it done, half of it not done. Cron starts trying to run again or something like that, and then you might actually end up with a corrupt database. So it's a good idea to try do this via the command line if you can. If you can't, just try to make sure that in PHP your timeouts are set really high. And I mean, you can reduce them, bring them back down after you're finished doing your upgrades, but it's no fun to have a upgrade timeout and you're wondering, because the browser will just stop and you'll be, is it okay? Is it working? Is it not working or something? So like me right now, I'm sitting here with this setting new default values and wondering, is it working? Is it not? I'm pretty sure it is, but it is taking its sweet time, isn't it? Come on, this is not even the main event here. Okay, so anyway, it did take its sweet time, but we've moved from 3.11.4 to 3.11.6. Okay, so now I'm going to disable maintenance mode again. Okay, so there's, site is being upgraded, try again later. Okay. We got some actual serious, interesting things happening here. Let's try that one more time. No. Okay, let's go back to upgrade.php. It says it's still going. No. Okay. Wow, isn't this going well? Okay. First ever live stream. Absolutely nothing is going right. Okay, it just probably there was some additional tasks that hadn't finished in the background, because it's saying site is being upgraded, please try again, retry later, which is what I'd expected to say if the upgrade.php hadn't completed. I'm pretty sure it had though, so okay. We got some weirdness here. Okay, so with the weirdness out of the way, let's refresh our browser here for Quackling Fire and see if we actually have a workable site. Oh. And it's still saying that it's in maintenance mode here. Oh, no. No, it just took a while to do stuff. Okay, 5 minutes and 1 second between the last 2 runs of the cron maintenance script, and should run every minute. So that makes sense because the your maintenance mode, CLA maintenance mode also does actually prevent the running of cron.php. So in order to get rid of that, I should be able to just run cron a couple of times like that, and that should make that error disappear, hopefully. That's actually what I tried before and it didn't work. So, okay, this cron checking script seems to not be working on my particular Moodle here. What a pity. Okay, anyway, let's pretend that we have no problems here so that I can actually get it to 4.0. Although, yeah, you might be about to watch me fall flat on my face. So, let's see. Strongly recommended that you update your site to the latest version. Okay, let's check for available updates and see if there's any plugins. I think I've only got the one plugin though, the benchmark report plugin. I think that's all I've got. I don't have web services enabled. That's okay. I definitely have been playing and doing some weird stuff in this site, but okay. Okay, so the next thing that I would definitely do before moving on to any 3.9 to 3.10 or 3.10 to 3.11, whenever you're changing branches, one of the really important things to do is to go to your server first and actually check the environment. Make sure that everything is all fairly kosher in here, because if you don't have the right Moodle version to upgrade from, you can actually brick your Moodle. If you don't have the right PHP version for the future version, you can brick your Moodle. You can brick it just by not actually having stuff. So I've got, you know, Postgres 13.5 is running, so I've got no problem with the database. And I've got PHP 7.4.28, which is actually 32-bit, so there should be a... There it is. Yeah, PHP not 64 bits. So I'm going to get this. I'm going to say, I'm going to pretend that that's not giving me any dramas. But if you run on Raspbian or something like that through a Raspberry Pi, you probably will encounter something like that. Not ideal for production. If you get, I wouldn't actually be using this particular Moodle with students. This is really just for experimentation. But it's the Moodle I had on hand for tonight's live stream, so hence we go. But definitely, in particular, the ones that you want to pay attention to are especially database and PHP, because they're the ones that are most likely to change, and perhaps a lot of people might actually be stuck on, say, Moodle version 3.9 because PHP, additional version of PHP or the database was required. So that can be one reason that stops you actually upgrading. I hope you have all green and okay like I have here. But we do actually have to check not just for 3.11, but for 4.0 upwards, which is there, and that's all good. If I click on Update Component, do I have the latest information here is also another thing. Clicking Update Component makes sure that you've got the latest information that's available here. And I can see 4.0, and it's just the not 64 bits, which we can't do anything about anyway. So, okay, it looks like our environment is okay. If there is a problem here, don't just try the upgrade, you'll break your Moodle. So make sure that you resolve all these things first. If you're on a VPS or something like that, then you can probably update your OS. Actually will probably give you a newer version of PHP that should be fairly stable. And your database at the same time, actually it might. But if you're on shared hosting or something like that, they might actually have a place where you can choose which, in your cPanel or something like that, where you can choose what PHP version you're going to be running. Just make sure that you're running something that is acceptable here. And I am not sure about, say, PHP 8, whether that is compatible yet. I'm not sure that it is. It'd probably work, but... check to make sure that this is green. as long as this is green in here, this is actually your Moodle on your server telling you I'm okay. So that's the best indication. Go in there and actually check it before you actually think of upgrading. Anyway, we've got that upgraded, so we've only got a couple of steps to go as long as everything starts working for me properly. So I'm not sure that that's what's going to happen, but let us push forward. So the next thing I'm going to do here is put this back into maintenance mode. So back to enable www data as the web server user, going to PHP the maintenance PHP file and enable maintenance mode. And maintenance mode's back on, which means the site is now not going to be responsive at all through the web browser. And this time I am going to just do a reverse search quickly, get it, but anyway, well, okay, that's working now. So what I want to do is I want to track. Oh, that's that's a whole bunch of commands linked together. Okay, I'm going to slow it down. Yeah, this is when you copy paste stuff like that you get that. Okay, so here's the basic command. This is you can get this from Moodle Git for administrators as well. There's a good page on moodle.org that you can use that has all these commands as well. So you don't need to copy these ones down from this video. I will put a link to that page in the description down below later on as well. So basically what we're going to want to do, and I'll do that last bit as a second process as well, is we want to track the branch Moodle 400 stable from the remote Moodle 400 stable. So actually, before I do that, I'm going to just go git branch-a, right? And that'll list all of the branches that are available in the remotes and things. So you can see here, our local branch here is Moodle 3.11 stable. So we're on Moodle 3.11 and it's green. And the green one is basically meaning that that's the one that we've got checked out at the moment. That's the code base that we're using at the moment. We can theoretically grab any version of Moodle we want, but the one that we do want is this one here, the Moodle 400 stable. So that's what this command here is doing. Is it's telling Git that we want to track Moodle 400 stable. We want to track a new version of Moodle as Moodle 400 stable and giving it the same name as the remote Moodle 400 stable. Now tracking basically means that 400 stable is my local branch. This is my local copy here, and what it should do is track the remote, which is on Moodle's GitHub repository. Right? So Moodle's GitHub, or the Moodle actually has its own Git site as well. So that's where the code is coming from, and it's saying just track that and keep it all there available. So you can see that now in here I've got a second local branch is tracking right here, and that's Moodle 400 stable. The reason to name them the exact same thing is because it's really obvious what that's tracking. But it's not green yet, and that's what the checkout command does. We'll turn it green and actually switch the code over so that the code that's actually available in the Moodle directory will be this newer code. And so before I do that though, if I go say git status, you can also see that there are a few additional things like this preset.css. I think that's just something I was fiddling with. But you can see these untracked files, and this is typically going to be things like if you've installed a plugin, as in I have installed the benchmark plugin. It'll tell you what branch you're on. It'll tell you whether you're up to date or not. Perhaps don't fully believe this, because unless you've done a git fetch just before it, it might not be accurate, because it's just looking at your local branch. But here, what we can do is we can see that, okay, this is untracked. So these files here won't be overwritten by switching branches. If I switch across to the Moodle Git checkout Moodle 400 stable branch, that's not going to delete all of my plugins. And this is actually one of the best reasons, I think, to manage your Moodle code via Git, is because you don't have to worry about that so much. If you've got plugins, you do have to make sure that your plugins will work with the new version of Moodle, but you don't have to worry about, downloading them again and reinstalling them, or copying the plugin folders across manually or anything like that. You just leave them where they are. And generally, that's fine. You just leave them there. So this is where we get on to the next one, which is Git checkout and Moodle 400 stable. And this is checking out our 400 code. So that will change the Moodle code, the Moodle PHP code and stuff, to 400 stable. And there we go. Now if we go Git Status, we get pretty much the same thing as we got before, up to date with Moodle 400 stable. Again, untracked files are still there. There is our two untracked files, the benchmark plugin and the preset SCSS, which I don't even remember what I did with that. Okay, but anyway, so with that done now, assuming that I've already done my backups and everything like that, I can just hit that upgrade script one more time, and that'll perform the upgrade for me. So it says, hey, 4.0, here we go. We're about to upgrade to 4.0. Once you do this, you can't go back again. Yep. So if you do not have a backup and this doesn't actually complete successfully, yeah, you've just broken your Moodle. So I haven't actually taken a backup, so I'm inviting failure, because it never fails if you have a backup. Well, it sometimes does, but yeah, you're inviting failure when you don't do a backup. It's if you don't have a backup, and you're almost guaranteed you're gonna have a failure. So okay, it's going through. It's doing some other things. Let's see, what do we got? That'll be Mnet, PayPal. It's just going through. Success. Sweet smell of success. This is actually fairly slow, because it's a Raspberry Pi. Yeah. I mean, it is taking about 500th of a second or so for every different plugin here. Question banks and okay. So, I don't know, is this live chat actually working? No, I can't see a single message in here, so is Dios working? I don't know, that's a way to encourage someone to respond. Make a spelling mistake. Yeah. Go ahead, someone. Correct my spelling. Yeah. All right, so here we go. Pretty much all of the table updating is completed. So setting new default values. And this actually took quite a long time last time, so I guess I've got no reason to expect it's going to take any less time this time. But yeah. Actually, yeah, there was a person was asking on another one of the videos about whether the plugins and user data also stays in place if you upgrade via Git, and the answer is yes, it does. Unless you have a plugin that's not compatible with a future version or something, yeah, pretty much your user data and everything will still be there afterwards. Now, I'm not going to do this on my university's Moodle because we've just started a new semester, and so I will wait until the semester break before doing it. Never upgrade mid-semester. It's if you've got a whole bunch of users and you upgrade mid-semester, they will get angry with you and they will find you and they will complain at you. So don't upgrade mid-semester. Anyway, that looks like that has completed successfully, beautifully. Okay. Do we believe it? Should I end the script right now or should I go and check? Okay, I'm gonna go caution to the wind. Okay, so that is throwing the same error as it did before. Okay, so there's definitely some problems with this Moodle. I'm not going to debug them all today. Upgrade running. Okay, it took a few tries, but finally that upgrade running stopped. So it still thinks that an upgrade was still running several seconds after it should have finished. So, I don't know, that's weird. I've never actually seen that happen before, so might look in my logs later and see if it's something interesting. Might even do another video on it. Ooh, okay, but anyway, it says it's running now, so let's have a look at Quackling Fire now and go to the notifications. Let's reload notifications, see what happens. Will it look different? It should look different. It's loading, transferring data, and whoa, asking me to log in again. Okay. Cache info. Oh, support email. Yes, of course, I'm going to need a support email. So I'm going to put in my email address there. There we go. Yeah, because nowadays in 4.0, that's right, you need to have a support email, right? You're not allowed to not have one, I think. Okay. 11 minutes between the last two runs of cron. Yeah, I have no idea if that's fixed. Let's as the first thing that we take a look at, let's look at cron. Okay. That's 1, that's 2, that's 3, that's like 4 runs of cron. Okay, are you going to stay there, cron? Tell me that it is running. It is running every minute, cron. Yeah, so that's still broken on my Moodle. I'm gonna say chances are really good that this won't be broken on your Moodle. That's just me. Okay, this is actually looking pretty good. Let's go to home, see what we got there. Ooh, okay, so we definitely have this new interface with the everything coming along the top there. I don't have my fonts or anything working again. So, well, that was set up using some additional CSS. So actually, I might do that now. I'll go to, I want to go to site administration now. Yeah, everything's sort of changed a little bit in its location, right? I actually prefer the new layout, but in order to show you, so now we're in the Boost theme and the advanced settings here. So I'm basically going to wipe out all my customizations. There, save. I left in smooth scrolling because I like smooth scrolling, and I think that should be a default actually. I know it might be a default actually. Yeah, I got an idea. I'll delete it and see if smooth scrolling actually is a thing in this version. So that should change everything to white. Oh, whitey then. So now my CSS is now gone. So this is what it's like when you first install it. And I can see that I've got my duck studies and things like that. Site home is still there. Oh, we've got this little tour happening here. Oh, this is good. Let's have a look. Activate edit mode. Great. So I can go next. Course index. Okay. Well, this is pretty cool. It actually tells me about these new features. This is great. Nice. Post important news here. Good. End tour. And I definitely liked that that new tour where it's saying, you know, it was telling me, you know, 1, 2, and 3. So 1 out of 3. In the next button there, nice touch there as well, because it tells me how many more steps there are. If I'm clicking next, how much more punishment am I in for? So that's good too. Yeah. I don't know about you guys, but I am definitely a fan of Moodle 4.0's new interface. Big it up for them. I think they've absolutely rocked it. Especially this sort of, you know, you can move your pieces around like that. So yeah. Anyway, that is the upgrade. It has actually worked. You can see that I've still got my information is in here. My choice modules, even the responses from previous times, the groups, everything is still there. And it is upgraded. Okay. And, ooh, this is nice. This is the very first time I've logged into this Moodle, and it is saying, welcome Adam. And as I understand it, if I log out and log back in again, that's going to say, well, it disappeared because I turned edit mode off, but that'll come back to me and say, welcome back. So, if I go into Duck Studies and then go back to my desktop, no, it's not greeting me anymore because it's already said hello once, I guess. Okay, let's try it. Let's log out and see if we can get that welcome back message. Okay, log in. Okay, and this is looking a lot better too. Again, things that I've reviewed before as well. The idea that the translation can be changed on this page. Oh, I love it. It's yeah, and there's my welcome back. Welcome back, Adam. Ha. Well, that's good. Okay, so that's pretty much all I had to show for today. We've actually successfully successfully is relative when you still have errors in the thing, but actually I've successfully updated this Moodle from 3.11 to 4.0, and now I can go and have a bit more of a look around the CSS, maybe change a few of the colors and things like that to my liking, and do some other things. And so for the next couple of weeks or so, I'll definitely be trying to upload a few more videos and things, and see if I can yeah, test drive this and explore how far the rabbit hole goes. In a previous video as well, I did sort of mention that I was sort of waiting for 4.0 to come out, because if everything's different, then I don't want to make the videos in 3.11 and 4.0. I'd rather just do 4.0. I have actually looked at some of the other cool stuff, but and just the thing is that you're scrolling up and down, but the edit mode button remains accessible no matter where you are on the page. The you know, question bank is there, but you know, the things that you most frequently use, like the participants list and checking out the grades and things, they're there, and they're in a more sensible location than over there was. I mean, it's, yeah, very happy with Moodle 4. The only thing I find a little bit weird is I would have expected forum to be green, but it's orange. So I don't know, but I sort of understand why it's orange, but it seems like it should be considered more communication than collaboration to me. But yeah, I don't know. Anyway, that's it for tonight. I am now just rambling on because I don't have anything more prepared for tonight. I wasn't really prepared to do this. Essentially, I was at work, meeting went late, and I got home, you know, minutes before this live stream was set to start, and then it didn't actually work. Oh, and by the way, I did learn why it didn't work. I was signed into the wrong account. So I was live streaming somewhere else, and now I got to find that video and delete it. Anyway, you live, you learn. I am sure I'll get better at doing this live stream. Thank you very much for coming and meeting and hanging out with me for this one. I still am not sure if the live chat is actually working, because if you've been sending messages to me, I haven't received anything on this end. So there are many, many more things that I need to figure out. But if you're updating the Moodle soon, then cool. I hope it goes really well for you. Hope it goes really smoothly. I am going to say one last time, please take backups before you try to update, and make sure you know how to reverse the process before you go forwards. So usually that's going to mean taking a full database dump. And I might actually do a proper recording of the proper database dumps being taken, the backup of the Moodle data directory, everything actually. I'll do that as a separate video, a more focused one later on. Until then, thank you very much. I know what I usually say, like and subscribe and all that jazz. I don't actually know. It does say that I've got 4 likes, which is very nice. I don't exactly know why. Does that affect the algorithm or something? I don't know. I don't know enough about YouTube. Okay, well, thank you very much, and I'll see you next time.